Good morning, everybody. Who's excited to be here on this rainy day at the Youth World, prepping for trail, right? No better place to be than the Youth World. So I'm going to start out and I'm going to walk through this pattern. Hopefully you guys can hear me over the tractor back there. So I'm going to walk through and I'm going to talk about the stride rules and a few important pieces, and then we're going to have Ryan demonstrate for us. Those of you that don't know Ryan is an exceptional exhibitor that we have for us today. He does a beautiful job showing a horse, so watch intently how he gets through this trail pattern. And for any of your friends that are not here this morning that may be overdoing the equitation, all of this is recorded and you can go back and watch it. So what we're going to talk about here is we're going to get started. And if you have any questions, we're going to do questions at the end, and I'm going to talk through some important pieces at the end about times that the trail will be up and drags and so on and so forth at the end. So stay at the end for that important information. So it's a little tight here for practicing, but as we get started, you're going to walk into your chute right here, single stride walks all the way in to the back. Now your back is nice and wide, but don't let that deceive you because you have these poles on the corners right here that are sticking out. These poles you have to be really careful about because you're going to feel these wider poles out here, and your horse is going to think that this is a little wider than what this gap is right here. So be careful as you're coming around this corner and backing up into your chute right here. It's important, you want to make sure that your leg gets all the way back to this black line right here. You may want to go a step further back just to give yourself a little more room to get loped off out of the chute. So we're going to back up. Be careful, there's going to be a flower box here. You don't want to hit the flower box. We're going to look up. It says you may walk forward. So I would ideally maybe a step or two walking, get loped off. The chute's not super tight, but it's a little tight, so you want to be thinking about a nice straight lope off transition right here. So we're getting loped off through these single strides around our corner right here. I think Ryan and I walked this at about a 5. You have the fence right here today that's kind of blocking you. So just keep that in mind, that just because how everything is set today doesn't mean that's exactly how it's going to be set tomorrow in the arena. It may be a little bigger in some sections, maybe a little tighter in some sections. And as we approach this lope right here, this is a stride rule. So you want to make sure as you come around here that you get 2 lope strides in this section right here. Back to the singles right here. We're going to get over these singles and ideally lope a few strides, and then there's an area here where you can get broken down. 2 or 3 strides after you get off of this pole, somewhere around this area, good place to break down. Get organized here for your next path. Come around. Ideally, you're going to get nice and straight to this first pole. There is no stride rule here, but this rides in about a 4. And this one right here, I think, rides in about a 6. All the way up to your gate. Now, when you trot up to your gate and stop, ideally, you want to stop with your arm right in line where you're going to have to pick up this gate. I talked to Tim about it a little bit, and he said if you have to just take one little step forward or one little step back, that's not too big of a deal, but you don't want to have to adjust your position too much right here. Picking up our gate with our left hand, backing up, stepping over our pole, closing your pole. Now, you want to be a little careful right here. As you get loped off, it says you may walk forward. You want to keep in mind that this little pole right here comes out. So as you're getting loped off, you're going to be looking right. You want to make sure you don't get too much hip and have your horse step into this pole right here. So you're going to come out, and it is a little bit of a hard angle to get loped off straight and then get turned back to this first pole. So we're loping. So about a 4, if you get 5 in there, these are not stride rolls in these areas. We're continuing to lope around this corner, all the way through these green and whites, over these last 2 green and whites, continuing to lope. And this is another spot that we have a stride roll. This is 2 strides through here. That's really important that you get these stride rolls. Continuing to lope all the way through here. We get over these pink and whites. Then we're going to break down to the trot. We've got single strides right here, so you want to make sure you have a nice tight rhythm to get through your single strides. Clear your single strides and then start thinking about your serpentine, keeping your eye up. You've got a nice amount of room here to get your spot through these serpentines, and then this is set really nice to get to your purple and white. So we're still trotting, looking for that lead foot ideally, and then we have another stride roll as we come into this first section of this purple and white right here. So making sure you have a good rhythm, 1, 2, 3, 4, and stop. It's important if you read your pattern, it says stop. It doesn't say stop or break to the walk. So when you stop in this section, take a breath, show that your horse actually stopped, that you're not dribbling into that walk. And then you're going to walk into the box, turn either way, and walk out. So unless anybody has any questions, we're going to, Ryan, are you ready to go through for us? Okay. And Tim and I did talk, and tomorrow he is going to ideally try and set this up so that after you walk out of the box, I think he's, Tim, are you still thinking left and veer out there somewhere?
I feel like the one's going to be there, so somehow you got to get across the board.
Yeah, so when the first horse goes tomorrow, Tim will help them navigate that. And ideally, make sure you get all the way out of the box at the walk, show that you've walked, and then ideally maybe jog out so that you're clear of that course so the next person can get started. So Ryan demonstrated a lovely rhythm through there, nice even step. Nice consistent rhythm backing, watching out for that pole on the left-hand side. Navigates the corner beautifully. And demonstrated an excellent spot to stop right there. He's not too close to that flower box, but he has shown that he is backed up all the way into that chute. Got loped out nicely. So he had to reach there for that spot, but he made it work nice. Rode through that really good. Stopped at an excellent spot to just reach right over and open up that gate. Nice rhythm through the gate. Staying nice and straight as he closes it. This is a good spot right here to take a breath. As you close that gate, look up, take a breath, walk your horse off for a stride or two. Let your adrenaline come down. Beautiful job around the corner. Excellent job through there. Got the 2 stride easy. Break down to that trot. And there's a little room right here too. You can take a breath right here as well. Anywhere you can find to take a breath in that pattern helps. Beautiful job getting the lead leg through the hole, looking up, thinking about getting this 2 stride. 1, 2, 1, 2. Whoa. Excellent job, Ryan. Ryan, are you up for maybe just going through one more time? So you can see where those tricky spots are there. There's a couple of spots where getting that rhythm in those lope overs around those corners is going to be a little bit challenging, and you're going to want to really practice that. But tomorrow, also be prepared that it might feel a little bit different. Ryan, I didn't hear any ticks. I didn't hear any ticks. Where'd you? Blindfolded? I'm sure he could do it blindfolded. Yeah, let's try, if you can, maybe just demonstrate that 6 and. So the first time Ryan went through, he did this corner over here in 5 and his horse really had to reach. We're going to try and go through there this time in 6 and see how we do. And it's just important that you know your horse's stride. So whether you put 5 in there tomorrow or 6, as long as you make it look rhythmic. You don't want to have to chip and you don't want to have to reach. You want to find that sweet spot for your horse's stride.
So maybe too, you can tell them because this arena is smaller, like I might put a little more depth on this corner here a little bit because the walkovers I was crowding the walks, so that's why it kind of feels like rectangular, and it might be some more square turn on that tomorrow. So for sure, there could be a little change on the angle from the black to the pink.
One thing I've learned over the years doing Tim's trail patterns at the World Show is don't get too caught up in the practice, because pretty good chance when you show it's going to be a little different. So that 6 rode a lot easier for Ryan's horse there. Gets broken down to the trot, looking up, finding that path to that first orange and white pole. Nice rhythm through there. All the way up. Nice stop. Reaches over, picks the gate up, gets right into that back. Over his gate pole. Taking his breath, getting loped off. Nice job with 4 around the corner there. Very nice. So Ryan's horse is a little tighter strided loping than what some might be. So you're going to have to just feel these spots out a little bit. Went for the 7 that time. 1, 2, 1, 2. And a little better stop this time. Excellent job, Ryan. So before I hand the mic off, because I think they need to talk about a couple of things, you'll notice that Ryan approached his second, some of the corners just a little bit different, and he had a little trouble getting out of his chute into that first black and white pole. But what he didn't do is he didn't allow that to ruin the rest of that obstacle. So he kept riding through there. So if you have a spot in your pattern that you don't love or maybe didn't go exactly to plan, don't quit riding. There's still a lot of course left usually. Keep riding, keep finding that next spot, and don't throw in the towel.